Hi, I'm Bart Hanson. I'm the owner and operator of CrushLivePoker.com. The following hand comes from our call-in show that we record at 4:45 p.m. Pacific Time every Monday. If you want to call in your hand, check out the phone number in the description.
We're in the cutoff,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sorry, we're in the hijack actually,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets limped it gets limped under the gun, and then it folds to me. We're looking at pocket nines, and I decide to raise it up to 15. The villain on the button, this is the good player I was talking about. He then decides to make it 41, and it folds back to me. And like, this is a pretty small sizing. And like I said, I thought about it for a second of possibly 4-bet bluffing, just because I didn't want to play this type of hand out of position to him, because I thought that he could put me in a lot of tough spots.
Yeah, but how can you wait a minute? How can you 4-bet bluff here though with these stack sizes? Like, what are you gonna? I mean, you're gonna make it like 130 and then fold to a shove. I mean, you're gonna I mean, it's cutoff versus button. Yeah, the hand's way too in between to do that with a $500 stack and these sizings. Like, I don't think you can 4-bet fold here.
In
Cutoff
1-3?
versus button. I thought you said the guy was like really good or something.
Yeah, but we're playing 1-3 currently. That's what I was saying. He normally plays 2-5, and I've seen him play 5-10. And he's a pretty good guy. Yeah, and that was the thing, was the only reason why I even thought about 4-bet bluffing was because I didn't want to play him out of position. And I thought that there was a chance that he thought I was just attacking the under the gun limper, because he was also a pretty big fish that I like to play a lot of pots in position against him. It may have just been, me leveling myself because I think he's a better player than I am.
I would just say, look, I mean, I think that here's the thing, right? I mean, I've asked Conlon this question too sometimes when I'm lost with some of the advanced concepts over in top section too. It's just one of these things where you have to approach this as, okay, we're going to call here, and now we're going to piece off parts of our range, on the flop, turn, and river. And then that's how we construct our range to get to the river. If we get to the river and, the guy goes for 3 streets, we kind of look at it and we're like, what are the hands that we could have? What are the stronger hands that we could have here? What are the weaker hands that we could have? And then that's what we do it. I mean, let's go. I mean, I would call here, and then, like I said, you're going to go through. The board comes out ace, king, queen. Yeah, you're going to check fold. If the board comes out, 10 deuce 3, yeah, you're definitely going to check call. You look at the suits of your hand, you look at your backdoors and things like that. I'm assuming that you called here. So he 3-bet to 41.
Yep, and so I call.
Yep.
And the flop comes out 8-7 deuce. So I mean, this is like a slam dunk flop for us.
8-7 deuce rainbow.
8-7 deuce 2 diamonds.
Okay. And do you have a nines with a 9 of diamonds, just by curiosity?
I don't have that written down whether or not I had that.
Okay.
I probably should get better at paying attention to that.
It's an extra type of thing to look for if it's close. You're obviously always going to continue here with you're going to always continue here with nines, right? Because it's an overpair. But say, for example, like you had, let's say that the board came out like, Jack 10-3 or something like that, right? With 2 diamonds. That's really close because you can turn equity. And that might be one where, like, hey, if you have the 9 of diamonds in your hand, you're actually going to call, and maybe without the 9 of diamonds, you fold. And that's because you can call across the turn if another diamond comes. That's just, like I said, if it's close here, you're always going to call with an overpair. But that's why you think about that. So the pot looks like it's somewhere around, like 85, something like that.
85.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about $85.
Okay, yep.
So the flop's 8-7 deuce 2 diamonds.
Yep.
So I check. Villain comes out and bets $40. I'm obviously not going anywhere, so I call.
Mm-hmm.
The turn is another 8, which is an offsuit 8. Didn't bring in any flush or anything like that. Right. And I check again to the villain, and now he bets 115. And I guess in retrospect, I guess nothing's changed, and maybe we should be calling again. But I guess I kind of thought to myself, I could call here, and that was my initial thought. And then I stopped for a while, and I was like, am I just going to call just to, call another big bet on the river? And again, I don't really know. I just felt like this player is going to put me in a lot of tough spots on the river where he's just going to bet again. And obviously, I'm not worried about him having an 8. I don't think 8 makes up almost any of his range unless he has quad.
Well, so let me go through this. Let me go through how you evaluate this. Like I said, I actually asked a similar question. about 3 or 4 months ago where I was lost in a hand, talking about, we've talked about MDF a little bit. I don't want to bring that too much into this, but so let's say you call here on the turn. So let's say he bets 115 and now you call. So, the pot is a 160, 260, 360. The pot is like 400 and you guys have like 300 left. Let's just say it's somewhere around there, right? And let's say the river's a brick.
Yep.
Okay. So let's say the river comes off a 3 and you check and he moves all in, right? For like a 75% pot size bet, right? So you have to look at your hand and then look at the quality of your hand and say, all right, well, what are the hands that I am raising from the cutoff, right, over a limp, and just calling to a 3-bet preflop? If you take out aces and kings, because you're probably always going to 4-bet them, right, you're sort of left with like queens, jacks, tens, nines, some flush draws, possibly some eights, maybe some pairs that you're set mining. And then let's just say, like I said, all things being equal, the guy bets about the pot on the river. So he's betting about a pot size bet here on the river. So you have to call, if he's betting equal to the pot on the river, you have to call with half of the hands that you arrive with, basically, to not make it a profitable bluff for him. This is pretty advanced stuff, but it can still be applicable to the 1-3 level because, if he's betting 300 into a $300 pot, he only needs to be right 50% of the time. Now, you're getting 2-1 in pot odds, but this is the concept of MDF here. So you sort of look at the hands that you arrive with that are played in this manner as a flat call pre-flop, and you say, is nines like one of the top 50% of hands that I might arrive with here at the end? And I would probably say that it's not, because you probably would check call if you are going to call with a lot of, say, like 5s plus. Let's say you raise 6s plus here over a limp. So you're going to have 6s. You probably call turn with 6s here too. You're going to have 10s. You're going to have jacks. You might have queens too. And you might have some ace kings that you check call, like ace king with the ace of diamonds that you might check call flop and check call turn, ace king offsuit. So eights, okay. Nines are pretty close. So obviously the river's going to change things too. But even if the river is a brick here, let's say the river is a 3 and you have nines and he basically moves all in, it might be one of these things where maybe you call with like jacks plus. Maybe it's 10s. Nines probably is a fold. This is just me making up the river, but this is the way you think about it. So did you make the call on the turn?
No, I folded, and I wasn't really sure if I should have made that fold or not. It was, at the time, I just didn't know what I was going to do when the river came a blank and he moves in, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I thought that this guy is capable of definitely bluffing the river on me and also going all in with his value hands as well. I think if he has queens plus, I think he's going all in on the river because he realizes that I can never have him beat there.
Well, yeah. And then, like I said, if you take a step forward, it's such a slam dunk bet for him with queens plus because in a true optimal setting, you're supposed to be defending with worse because you're trying to defend against him being able to basically profitably triple barrel you. So if you're always 4-betting aces and kings and you have to defend here with 10s, because it's one of your better hands that you arrive on the river with here, then yeah, queens is a slam dunk across 3 streets. But I wouldn't be overly intimidated by that. You just have to, like I said, obviously, the river's going to change things, but he certainly might not bet the river. It might go check. He might be betting the turn because you think that he thinks that you've got a draw or something like that. But that's sort of the way that you think about it. You've got to piece off parts of your range. And again, on this one, nines probably is very close here. I would probably almost say that it's probably 10, maybe 10s is a call. 10s without a diamond, maybe. Maybe partials, maybe half of the 10s plus is a call across a brick run out. And not having a diamond at the end helps you because you don't block some of the diamond draws that he might continue on with. That's how you think about that, how you're going to call down,
okay.
So
yeah, so if I guess one quick question. So I just want to make sure I understand you right. obviously it's player dependent, but do you think like let's say it was tens. So we said nines is on the fence, tens is probably a call. So if I have the 10 of diamonds, then maybe I fold some percentage of the time, and if I have 2 black tens, then maybe it's a call there, just because, you know what I mean, now he has more opportunity, more flush draws in his hand.
Well, this is,
don't have the 10 of diamonds.
I mean, this is, like I said, this is from a theoretical standpoint. This is how you think about it. It's not necessarily, people aren't constructing like their barrels with the right distribution for it really to be all that relevant at 1-3. But I'm just telling you, like, the way you think about it, like from a theoretical standpoint. Yes, here, if you needed to call with 50% of the hands that you arrived with on the river, and that was like parcels of tens plus, then you would pick the tens that don't have a diamond in it. Like I said, that's from a theoretical standpoint. That's how you do a frequency select.
Understood.
Yeah. All right, Gage. Thanks for the call. Hey guys, if you like what you've seen here, please click on the subscribe button and you'll get notified every time we put up a new video. And if you want to check out CrushLivePoker.com for the first month free, use the code YTA200. Click on the link right there.